Hello, I'm Neil deGrasse Tyson, your host for Nova Science Now. Can you imagine sitting down for a meal and getting served something that you know will taste so bitter, so vile, but it's really good for you and you have no choice but to eat it? Thank you. For some people out there, this is just what it's like to eat foods that most others find delicious. Why do people have such different reactions to the same thing? Well, as I found out, the answer may just lie in their genes. Ugh. Nasty. Some kids love to eat. They'll eat almost anything. But others just hate the foods that are best for them.
I like that green stuff. I want it.
Some kids are picky eaters. According to my mom, I was never one of them.
Ever since he was a little toddler, he ate everything that was put in front of him.
And it's a good thing I did.
There was no question about being picky. I didn't even know what the word meant.
So why are some people picky and others not?
Just like we all differ in our ability to see and to hear, people differ in their ability to taste.
Broccoli is yucky.
What makes a dish taste good to some people and terrible to others? I was determined to find out. And I couldn't think of a better way to do it than to invite biologists Bob Margolski and Stuart Firestein for a tasty meal. I love good food, although it's still a mystery to me how my sense of taste works. So, to set me straight, the chef and my colleagues came up with a little experiment. Much to my surprise, it involved a lot more than my tongue. Hey, wait, my food is covered. What are you doing?
I'm over here now, Neil. Ready for this experiment?
I'm ready to eat.
All right, open wide. Here it comes. I want you to describe now just what you're sensing in your mouth.
I don't taste anything.
That's because flavor really consists of several different sensory modalities. It's not just the taste in your mouth,
Right.
but also the way the food smells in your nose, the way it looks on the plate, the way it feels in your mouth.
Okay.
I'm going to take the nose plug off, and I want you to breathe out when I do that. Okay, breathe out.
Wow. Completely different. Oh, it's fruit. I get some sort of sweet spices, like I get a little bit of cinnamon, maybe a little bit of clove.
So now let's have a look at what you've been eating.
Jell-O. All right, so why couldn't I taste it without my nose? Why should my nose have anything to do with it at all?
Well, I think evolution has seen fit to devote as much of our sensory apparatus as possible to what we eat. You are, after all, what you eat.
And so were our caveman ancestors. They had to use all their senses to find the nutrients they needed to survive in a hostile environment. And just like us, they probably loved sweets. And there's an evolutionary reason for that. The sugar in sweet foods provides a lot of energy.
Sweet is very important, and most people strongly prefer sweet. This is a direct measure of the nutritive value of a food.
On the other hand, we have a very different relationship with that bitter taste in many vegetables. Bitter is a warning.
Bitter is protective sense. It's a signal for something potentially poisonous. The plant puts out a toxic compound so people won't eat it.
So the bitter flavor in a plant prevents people from eating it. Our bitter taste buds honor and respect that fact in the plant.
Yes.
Good. Finally, you got it.
I got it. But my colleagues still hadn't explained why people like me love eating broccoli while others think it's got a nasty, bitter flavor. Stuart and Bob assured me the answer to this taste bud mystery was on the tip of my tongue. These are taste buds, and those long, slender, leaf-like shapes are taste cells. These cells enable us to detect 5 basic flavors: sweet, salty, bitter, sour, and umami, the Japanese word for the savory taste in meat and cheese. On the outside of each taste cell are finger-like projections covered with hundreds of tiny taste receptors. And when those receptors bind with the foods we eat, it opens a chemical pathway into the cell that leads all the way up to the brain. That's what we call taste. So why do some people hate that bitter taste found in green plants like broccoli and Brussels sprouts? And others, like me, enjoy it. It's all because of those little taste receptors on your tongue. They're actually proteins made by your genes. You've heard of genes. They're subunits of our DNA, that long chain of 4 chemicals best known by their initials, A, C, G, and T. Biologists have discovered that out of the thousands of genes in our DNA, there's one that determines if we like the taste of some healthy greens or if we can't stand them. And that single gene was discovered by geneticist Dennis Drena. He found it by testing how strongly people react to the taste of PTC, a compound a lot like the chemical found naturally in vegetables like cauliflower and broccoli. While some people hate the taste of PTC, others can't taste it at all. Dennis found the reason why, and it's in our genes.